As we continue Chapter 3 on equations and inequalities in two variables, we're ready to go with 3.2. And 3.2 has to do with the slope of a line. And most of you, if not all of you, have already done things with slopes of a line and just that whole idea of what a slope is. So it should be just some review that we go through today on that. So first of all, what I'm interested in you understanding is what slope is. The slope is basically the angle that a line travels across the slope. Sometimes it looks like that. Sometimes it looks like that. Sometimes like that. Sometimes like that. I mean, just all different directions that it can move. And a slope can be positive or negative. And by looking at the graph, you can determine if a slope is positive or negative on whether or not it goes downhill or uphill from left to right. So for instance, if it goes downhill from left to right, it is a negative slope. If it goes uphill from left to right, doesn't matter how steep, it is on a positive slope. All right, so in each slope that you have has a number to represent that slope, and the larger the number, the steeper the slope would be. So if we look at that blue line, if we have a number or a slope that's like this, that number is going to be a small number. In fact, it gets to the point where it becomes so close to being flat that it has a fraction for a slope. I mean, the slope is less than 1. Sometimes it gets really, really steep, and that number is really, really big, like 486,000. So the steeper the slope, the bigger the number. The less steep the slope, whatever word that would be, the smaller the number. So geometrically, there are a couple ways that we're going to look at slope, and let's just hit the one that we'll use the most often, and that is using a fraction to determine the slope. So that fraction is going to look like this. Every number in the whole history of the universe can be written as a fraction. Sometimes it's a fraction like this. Sometimes you have the number 6 and you write it as a fraction by putting it under 1 or over 1. So every number then can be written as a fraction. If it's a whole number, you just put it over 1 and you've got your fraction. So what the slope is actually a ratio. And if you remember when you studied ratios a long time ago, or maybe not so long ago, you learned that ratios were basically fractions. You're comparing the top number to the bottom number. You're saying y is to x. So 3 is to 4. Gives you an idea of a ratio. Comparing those couple numbers there. Okay, so let's go with the y over x. If I have a slope of, let's say, 3/4, that means my ratio is 3 to 4. Y over x, 3 to 4. So my 3 represents y, my 4 represents x, always. The top number is the y, the bottom number is the x. So what we're going to do with this particular one is let's start at the origin. And if we want to find what the slope is going to look like, we look at this as 4, 3. The y is the second number, the x is the first one. And so from the origin, we go over 4, up 3. Over 4, up 3. And we do that over and over and over, and we connect the dots. Sorry about my lame line. And we get a slope that looks like that. Our fraction is positive. That means going from left to right, it goes uphill. So that's true in this one. And so that's our slope. So let's look at a couple of these just to give you an idea of what we're dealing with here. So let's go ahead and graph this. The example 1 says find the slope. So what we're going to do is we're going to graph this first with an x and a y. And remember from a while back we put a couple numbers in here. If we put 0 there, our y is -3. If we put a 2 in there, 2 times 2 is 4, minus 1, or minus 3 is 1. Or if we put a -2 in there, -2 times 2 is -4, minus 3 is -7. So that gives us enough to actually graph our line. And we get that point, and then finally -2, -7. All right, so we get a line that goes through all 3 of those points. See how straight I can draw it. All right, so what we're doing is we're looking for the slope. We're going to pick a point on this line. Doesn't really matter which one, but we want to pick a point that actually goes through an intersection here with like this part of the graph and this. So we're going to pick something like this or something like this, something that actually crosses there that we can name. Because if you pick something in the middle, like right here, how far over is that point? Well, it looks like it might be around 1.5, but I'd rather have a for sure. So I went over 2 and up 1. So I'm going to take this point there. I'm going to mark it in blue here so I know where I'm at. And now I'm going to find another point. Well, another point looks like about right there, and we found it using that. So what did I have to do to get from this point to this point? Well, I went down 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went down on the y-axis 4. So my y is 4. And remember the 4 goes on top because it's y over x when I'm finding slope. So I went down 4, and then I went over 2. Now when I came down 4, is that a positive 4 or a negative? Because I went down, it is a -4. And when I went from here over to here, I went 2, but I went in the negative direction. So that's also a negative. A negative over negative is a positive. And what is 4 over 2? 2. So that's the slope. Now let's say I started at this point, I was going this way. So I know where that point is. And what did I do to get here? I went over 1, 2, and I went 2 in the positive direction. And remember, that goes on the bottom because it's the x. And then once I got here, what did I do? I went up 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went up 4. So my y value is 4. So again, 4 over 2 equals 2. So it doesn't matter which point you choose. Just pick 2, and it doesn't matter if you go from here to here or here to here. It also doesn't matter if you go from here to, say, here. It does not matter which points you pick. If you put the y value here and the x value here, you will get the same slope. Doesn't matter. All right, so what happened is this is called the change in y, because the y here is a 1, and it changed. It changed to a -3 to get down here. So that distance right there is the change in y. The distance from here to here is called the change in x. So the change in x was -2. -2 direction and 2 spaces over. So something to remember there as you're looking at that is we made a vertical change and we made a horizontal change. The key thing that most students forget is that this is the y change and this is the x change. Very, very important to remember that. If you don't remember that, you will get it wrong if you get them messed up. So just something to consider. All right, so as we move into example 2, that change that I just shared with you is something that we're going to go into because there is a way to find the slope without actually graphing it. So for example, I may just give you 2 points, -2 and negative 3. And this other point. So I'm going to use the graph to show you how to do this, but you can do it without. In fact, we will be doing it without. Negative 5, 1. So there's our line. And we're going to draw a line through here. And in fact, let's use these 2 points that they gave us. It doesn't matter which points you use, but we already know their values, their coordinates. So let's just use those. So let's start at the bottom one. Let's start here. And in order to get from this point to this point, we went left 1, 2, 3. So we went left 3. So we're going to put that on the bottom because it's y over x. And when we go left to right, that's always the x value. And then from there, we went up 1, 2, 3, 4. So our y is 4. Okay. But when we went from here to here, we went in a negative direction. So that 3 needs to have a negative there. When we did our y value, we went in a positive direction. So that's why this 4 is positive. And because one of these fractions is negative, we can write it the way it is. We can write it this way, or we can write it that way with the negative right there in front of both of these numbers there. It doesn't really matter which one. It all means the same thing. When there's one negative there, you can put it anywhere you want. So that's the way graphically you find out what the slope is. So there's another way to do it. And what we do is we use symbols a lot in math. And this one does not make any sense, but that's the way it goes. We use the letter M to represent slope. Why not S? I have no clue. But M represents slope. So M equals y over x. Remember what we did in the last drawing, example 1, I showed a y over x. But remember I said it was the change in y. So it's the change in this y over the change in this x. So it's actually the change in y over the change in x. And if you've taken any chemistry or physics, there is another symbol to represent the word change. And that is, it's called a delta. It's a Greek letter, just a triangle. So it says the change in y over the change in x. And that's what slope equals. So when you see this, it means how far is it from one point on the line to another point on the line vertically over one point on the line to where they meet. So how far did we have to go over left or right to get there? And that's our change in x. And that's where we got our negative 4/3. 4 over 3. And that's all slope actually is. But one of the things you're going to have to learn when it comes to finding slope is, again, using this change in y over the change in x. What we're going to do is we're going to go, and this is, so we don't even have to graph. So we're just going to use this information that we have here. So change in y. So I look at my y values. Here's one y value. Here's the other one. And I'm going to subtract the two. Or if I don't like doing it that way, I can do 1 minus negative 3. It doesn't matter as long as I subtract the two. And then I'm going to draw a line. So those are my y values. My x values are negative 2 minus 5. Or I'm sorry, negative 2 minus negative 5. And if I did it the other way around, I'd have negative 5 minus negative 2. So notice what happens. If I use this as my first y, I have to use this as my first x. I can't use this as my first y here and then use this as my first x here. Nope, they have to be in the right order. The negative 3 and the negative 2 are above each other. the 1 and the -5 are above each other. And that has to be the way for both of those. So let's say that we chose to do it this way. -3 minus 1 is -4. -2 minus -5 is the same as 2 plus 5, so that's 3. Okay, so that gives us our slope of -4/3. 1 minus -3 is the same as 1 plus 3. -5 plus 2 is -3. So both of these are the same. So it doesn't matter which numbers you do first, as long as you're consistent and you put the y on top and the x on the bottom. And see, we did that without paying any attention to the graph. All right, ready for the next video.